Hello, I have been trying to learn vibrato on the electric guitar, and I've been watching like Jimi Hendrix and B.B. King and Eric Clapton, and trying to figure out how they do it. And I'm not that good at it, but I thought I would share a few observations. So, from what I can tell, they basically have three kind of vibratos. There's one that they would do on the top three strings, the high three strings, where they sort of rock it along their thumb, kind of like that. Then there's one where they would sort of do in the middle strings, where they kind of pick up the whole guitar and use the weight of the guitar, like that kind of a thing. And then there's one that they do on the bottom two strings, where they sort of use their finger and kind of pull it down, like that. So I've been trying to get the hang of these, and like I said, I'm not that good, but maybe I can share a few observations I've made. So first of all, on the top three strings for that fast vibrato, one thing is you can either bend it up or bend it down, and it sounds exactly the same, whether you're bending it up or down. From what I can tell, even though they say, when I watch the videos, they say they bend it down, but when I look at them, they're bending it up. So I think they're bending it up towards the ceiling. Now the one thing you don't want to do is go up and down, because it sounds like some outer space movie. So if you just go up, it sounds pretty good, but if you go back and forth, it sounds like outer space, because it's kind of going up from the tone and down, and it sounds dizzy. So either go down or go up, but don't go back and forth. So I like the up. I think they're doing up. And bring it down to the home tone and then up. So now how do you do it? So a couple things I've noticed, people say, oh, if you take your wrist and it's a twisting motion of your wrist, but it's not a twisting motion of your wrist, because look what happens to your thumb when you're doing that. Your thumb is making little arcs, and when you're doing it on the guitar, your thumb is not making any arcs. So it's not quite that. So, but it's not a bad way to kind of start. Take your hand and practice twisting it, but take your thumb and anchor it on the neck of the guitar. And then I think you take your index finger here, and you sort of have a little pressure, not very much, but a little pressure, and this first part of your finger here. Let's see, like that part of your finger there. People say here, but I don't really think it's here. From what I can tell, it's kind of there. That's the base of your finger. And it's not very much pressure, just a little bit. So put your thumb down and then anchor with that little bit of that fleshy part of your finger there. And then put your fingers down. And of course, you're only going to do vibrato with the first, second, or third finger. People don't really do it for their pinky. And then, and this particular technique is for these top three strings. So thumb there, brace it with a little light pressure with your index finger, and then put your finger down. We'll do the number 3 finger here. And then you have to kind of just twist your, what I think about doing is I think it helps if you think about taking your thumb and only think about your thumb. Don't really think about your fingers or your wrists. Just think about your thumb and think about rolling your thumb to the side, okay? So think about taking your thumb from flat, thumb rolled to the side. Thumb flat, thumb rolled to the side, okay? And then you're going to have to vary how much pressure you put on your index finger to be able to do that quickly. So I can kind of do it slowly, but then you want to practice being able to do quickly, which I can't really do yet. So I think one thing you want to practice and see what works best for you is, where do you want to put that pressure on that thumb? Try it with the thumb kind of in the middle. I think try it with the thumb right at the joint, Might be easier with the thumb right at the joint. Try it with the thumb up more towards the tip. And here's at the joint, or at the base of the thumb. Or, more of your whole hand, get your fleshy part of your thumb on there. So I'm not really sure which works best. But I think that's part of the key, is like that thumb position. I'm kind of thinking maybe about halfway down the thumb for these top couple strings. And then just roll your thumb down, 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 down. Think about rolling your thumb. And then we're going to have to practice it so we can do it fast. So the only thing that's touching the guitar is my thumb, a little bit at the base of the finger, my index finger, and then my the pivot finger. But really, just think about the thumb. Think about rotating the thumb. And then just practice a little drill. We just go 1, 2, 3. You know, like 2, 3. And it's a little different if you're down here or in the middle of the neck versus up high, like at the 12th fret or so. Seems like you maybe when you get higher, you have to move your thumb down a little bit that way, less like that. Not sure, but you can position your thumb either vary where it is in terms of the tip to the base of the thumb, or where it is, how far it is from your first finger, you know, down there, there, up here. It seems like just down a little bit. So that technique seems to work on these top couple strings, you know. That kind of a sound. All right, then the other one is where you kind of take the guitar and just lift it up. And you're just like pushing against the guitar, and the head of the guitar is going to bob because you're really just you're definitely feeling the weight of the guitar. And your pivot points are on your thumb and your finger, and I'm not really bearing any weight on anywhere else. Like my index finger is not touching. I'm just pushing the guitar up. And you're kind of bobbing it, and you're feeling the weight of the guitar and pushing up against it. And again, it's going up. So, you know, something like, oops. And I always slide my finger off like that. I definitely have to practice. It'll fall off, you know. If you're not careful, you do that instead of. So that's going to take some practice to get it positioned under the string, not on top of it, so it doesn't fall off. Or you can do it on like these bottom couple strings, same thing. Oh no, wait a minute. The bottom strings you pull it down. So say here's a little lick like on this 4th string, you'll push it up like. But then on the 5th string you kind of pull it down. And on this 5th or the 6th string, of course you can't push it up. It's going to go off. So you pull it down. And then this one you actually use kind of finger strength, some finger strength. You're kind of gripping it with your thumb and your finger, and you're pulling down with some finger strength, and you're pulling the whole guitar down. And the head's kind of bobbing. That's what I think is going on there. So something like. So that's what I got figured out for now. But if I come up with any other videos, I'll update it. Thanks.